going to run you through two things today. I'm going to tell you a bit about my background, where I come from, where I am now, and I'll do a crash course in search engine optimization, because people keep asking me about this, so it's rapidly becoming my favourite subject. Who is this guy with the facial hair? I'm from Yorkshire, and so what's Yorkshire famous for? Ferrets, flat caps, whippets, whippets with flat caps, and grumpy old men like me. And speaking funny. So, as Joe would know, we all speak funny in Yorkshire. So we're giving you a crash course in some Yorkshire. So, A up. Anybody know what that means? A up means hello. And E bar gum. E bar gum. That means oh my God. And on ilkley more bar tat, one of my favourite phrases of all time, it actually means on ilkley more without your hat. So if anybody says an ilkley more bar tat or sings it to you, it's actually a song, then you know what it means. So my early career, I was an electromechanical and industrial designer. So I used to design these things, printed circuit boards and electronics and micro circuits. So they always had firmware and software on them. So I used to design that as well. So that's how I got into coding, basically, and then later moved into web design, because it's coding. I used to design metalwork as well, and plastic parts, plastic components, and the injection moulding tools that make those plastic parts. I used to design them as well. So I had a sort of a rounded industrial and electromechanical design career, but then decided I was getting bored of that, so I decided I'd move on to websites and multimedia. So it was around the mid-90s when I built my first ever website, and bearing in mind the first ever website by Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the internet, was built in '91. So I was a fairly early adopter of website development. So it's about 4 years later. They were a bit archaic, steam driven in those days, and they're getting better. As I said, I narrowly missed 9/11. My birthday's September the 7th, which was a Friday, and we were meant to be in New York that weekend for my birthday, and we would have been flying back probably on the 11th, which was a Tuesday, I think. And we were going with another couple. They actually pulled out due to work reasons, so we delayed the trip. And as it happened, it was a good idea that we delayed it. So in November 2001, so shortly after I sold my business in England, we decided we'd move to Australia. And then in 2006, I set up Image and Substance, which was my full service design agency. So we did everything from branding through to TV advertising. So I'm going to show you some of my work that we produced during that period of my life. And then in 2016, I sold that business to my business partner, whom I'm still struggling to get paid for my share of the business, but that's a different story. And then immediately set up TR Digital, because I wanted to simplify my life. I wanted to go back to doing what I enjoyed doing, and I enjoyed coding. I enjoy solving coding problems and building really good websites. So I'd lost track of what I wanted to be in my bigger agencies, an agency of 5 people. I just spent my time managing the business, managing people, managing problems, managing clients, was just too much. So I thought, get rid of it, start from scratch, do what I'm actually passionate about. So I've gone back to what I enjoy doing, and that's coding, developing websites. So this was our brand at the time. IS stands for Image and Substance. We then changed to IS Design and Digital, because we were doing, at one stage, we were doing about $500,000 worth of print, and then the bottom fell out of the print market. Everybody, you know, instead of producing 60,000 annual reports, the Submarine Corp, for instance, used to buy about 60,000 annual reports from us in a year. They decided they'd do it digitally instead. So suddenly we went from selling $500,000 worth of print to, in our last year, I think we probably didn't break $50,000 in print. So it's a massive dive in the market. So we branched out doing more digital work. So websites were getting bigger and bigger. So we were building websites around $15,000 to $20,000 mark, and they were harder to come by. So it became harder to find those kinds of jobs. But we also branched out into advertising, so radio advertising and TV advertising. And so the placement of the media earned us quite a lot of money. So it made up a lot of what we lost in print. So some of our clients were people like Fringe, Adelaide Fringe, and Adelaide Festival as well. We branded and did all the advertising for the Cockatoo Island Film Festival, which was a large new festival back in 2012 in Sydney, based on Cockatoo Island, which was a great venue, so that went really well. The City of Charles Sturt, we rebranded Charles Sturt, and it's quite a few years ago now, but we came up with this campaign, Hello, I'm Charles Sturt, and they're still, I think they're still actually running with that campaign, so they've never moved on per se, and that's probably 8 years ago we did that now, and they're still using it. And Peter Gers actually mentioned the campaign in his What's Hot and What's Not. He said it was one of the hot things, and it was a great, colourful, multicultural campaign. So we got a mention from him. City of Halifax Bay, that was one of our clients. So we branded trams and things like that, which are very expensive. I think they were about $120,000 to put that tram on the road for a few months. But they had the money, which was great, so they gave it to us. We did some quite a bit of TV advertising, and this guy, one of our famous beat great celebrities, I guess you'd call him, and this was for a solar company, a campaign that we did. Merrick Watts, we worked with Merrick Watts on a campaign for the Department of Defence, and it was all about cyber security and what you should and shouldn't do. So we tried to, instead of this being a bland, oh, don't do this, don't do that, we actually came up with an amusing video which engaged people and made the subject a little bit less dry. I thought I'd actually show you a couple of little videos that we produced, the more fun things that we've worked on. So I hope you can see and hear.
Installing the connections to this existing pipeline. And Roy, you and I and Nigel, we had a look at it the other day. They're all pretty short connections. Most of them are going across the road, so we're going to have to put some bitumen back. One of the issues is that the pipe's got quite a bit of water in it. So the suggestion we take the water out from the hydrants. Has anybody got any ideas how they can do that? I'm not familiar with extracting water from the hydrants. Got any clues?
That control cannot connection to the pipe.
And the distance between the hydrants is about 400 metres.
And so that was for Lead. They were coming up to their 10-year anniversary and they wanted a little promo video to send around to people, and I think that went down rather well. Another one, if I can find it. There we go. And this is for Tim's Tunes, who used to be, well, they're still around. They produced audio. Chris knows Tim's Tunes. They do a lot of the audio for all the advertising agencies in Adelaide and beyond. And this was a Christmas card that we put together for them. A video Christmas card, if it plays. So that was part of our business, was developing short videos and TV advertising. Hopefully I can go back to their presentation shortly. If you bear with me a sec. So then started TR Digital, trying to simplify my life, building WordPress websites. I think we all know where I'm coming from on WordPress websites. They're easy to maintain, relatively easy to build, and what I'm trying to do is make them affordable to people without them having to go offshore and using overseas companies to build them. So I'm trying to build them at the same price as you would if you went offshore. I think these days you have to start from a responsive design being working on mobile devices and tablets, because more than 50% of sites are viewed on a mobile device. So you start there, and almost desktop website design is secondary to responsive design now. So I build e-commerce sites as well. And I'm doing a lot more search engine optimization, as I've said. People are asking me about that more and more, and site optimization as well. So this is the crash course in search engine optimization. And so what's important now? So Google is obviously #1 search engine. Google drives search engine optimization. And as of this year, they have a new artificial intelligence engine that changes the face of search engine optimization. Now what Google are looking for is people staying on your website. If people are going to your website and leaving, that's bad. They want you to stay, they want you to give them good content, and they want users to stay on your website for a reasonable amount of time. If they don't, your listing goes down and you get deranked. So what's important? Keyword research is very important now. Google per se doesn't use keywords anymore, so you can't say Mount Barker Business Group networking. They just don't use that. What they're looking for though are keywords and phrases that describe your business, that are meaningful. So high quality content in connection to those key phrases. So there used to be what's called metadata. There used to be a tag called keywords. That's not even used anymore. Google does not look at keywords, but it looks at the important words of your body copy, of your title, and of this hidden metadata, which is the hidden code that tells Google how to rank your site. So there was a few years ago a drive to reduce content on websites, keep it short, stupid, the KISS principle, keep it short so that people read it. Actually, it's going the other way now. Google wants meaningful content. It wants more content so it can understand your website, so it can look at the heading, the title, and the content, and actually understand it. So this artificial intelligence is trying to understand your content. So the more you give it, the more Google understands your website and will rank you higher. So if you've got a competing business with a short bit of text and not meaningful titles and subtitles, they're going to lose and you're going to win if you've got longer text and meaningful titles. So relevant title tags, heading tags, alt tags. Alt tags are tags that you, when you upload an image to your website, you can put an alt tag on. So it might be an image of a golf course. So you give it a tag, golf course. If you don't give it that tag, Google doesn't know what that image is for and what it's about, but it can use those tags to tie in with the text and the title and the heading, and it likes that, so it ranks you higher again. Links, incoming links, internal links, and external links. So there used to be a way of sort of fooling Google into thinking that you were a very popular site by masses of links coming into your site. Google's gone the other way with that now, so if it sees lots and lots and lots of links coming in from a source that it doesn't recognise as a trusted source, you get deranked. So you have to have meaningful linking between websites. So, for instance, the Mount Barker Business Group website linking to each and every one of you is a meaningful link, because Mount Barker website, business website, is all about business, and Google understands it's about business and it's linking to businesses. So it's coming from one source and it's a trusted source. Mobile friendly and responsive, as I've said, you've got to start there now. Everybody has to have a responsive website because it's got to display correctly on a mobile. And if it's not, again, Google will penalise you because it likes responsive websites. Site speed has become more critical. I know the internet's getting faster as NBN comes in, but Google still wants your site to be quick to load and a good user experience for everybody. Analytics, so you've got to use your Google Analytics, you've got to connect to Google, and you've got to check out your analytics regularly to make sure you're driving traffic to the site and that hopefully your visits are going up and not down. And Search Console, there's something called Google Search Console. Some of these are sort of techie tools, but you should still be aware of them and be checking them regularly, or your web developer should be checking them regularly for you. Search Console tells you what search phrases people are using to get to your site. So you can then start using those search phrases that people are using to get to your site, and you can embed them better within your content. So for instance, Mount Barker Business Group is currently trending on networking Mount Barker, networking Adelaide Hills. because I told it to do that, and that's getting most traction at the moment. What you want to avoid in your search engine optimization: duplicate content. If you've got the same content several times through your site, Google's not going to like that. It thinks that you're trying to fool it into having more content. It wants unique content, not duplicate content. Keyword stuffing. So yes, you have to have keywords running through your title, your head, and your body copy, but if you try and use that same phrase 20 times in the body copy, Google again says you're trying to fool me, and you get penalised for it. Hidden content: you used to be able to put white text on a white background at the bottom of the page, and Google used to go, wow, these guys are great, they've got lots of keywords that nobody can really see, and it used to bump you up the ranks. Now it doesn't want hidden content, it wants to have meaningful content. High bounce rate. Bounce rate is when somebody goes to your website and back straight out again. So what you want people to do is go and look at your website, go to a few pages, spend a bit of time on your site. Again, this is this artificial intelligence thing. If Google sees people going to your website and trawling around for a while, it likes that because it thinks your website is meaningful. If people go straight in and back out again, Google knows that and then starts to de-rank you. Low click-through rates, so that's related to what I was just talking about. So if people go to your website and don't go anywhere else, that's a low click-through rate. You want people to be clicking around your website. All right, so the metadata that I was talking about, this description here is really important. That's what Google puts in its search underneath your title, and then also the title again, and all these others are important but less important. It really is all about the description and the title metadata. So this is stuff you don't see. It's all hidden in the page, and Google uses that to list your site. So this is what I'm talking about. There's your title. There's the URL. This is the description that we've put here. So this is all about SEO in WordPress. So this is your meta description, your SEO title, and that's what Google indexes and makes the search, gets people to your search, to your website. So I've been working on the Mount Parker Business Group website now for a while, and since our last committee meeting, I've been commissioned to improve SEO. So this is a baseline speed test of the site, and this is what it was when I took it over. It was 39 on, so this is mobile and this is desktop. 39 and 46 in terms of speed. Not very good at all. Comes up red. I've been boosting that gradually, and we're now up to 62 and 68. So we've pretty much almost doubled the speed of the site. So Google is going to like that. I did a few speed tests on a few of your websites, guys, which I thought would be interesting. And I know your website's brand new and you obviously haven't optimized it properly yet, but you didn't do very well. 4654, but you are one of the better ones, I have to say. Mount Parker website itself for the council, 3137, that's pretty poor. Action Coach, sorry, 2627, that needs some work. And that's not your personal page, that's the global page, the corporate page. The dirt, sorry Mike, your website looks great, but it sucks in terms of speed. That was the worst one in the room, 1033, and I think I've mentioned this to you, so I can help you with that if you need some help. Potnitsky, well done. Orange is good, 7382. And the winner, Class A Energy Solutions, 74, 87, both three. And do you know why? Because I did it.
This feels like a setup, isn't it?
Great job, fantastic.
All right, so a bit on Google Analytics. Everybody should be connected. Everybody needs to be tracking their analytics to see where you're going. Sessions, that's the number of times people have viewed your site, or multiple pages. Users, page views, all fairly self-explanatory. This bounce rate is what people keep asking me about. That's when people go into your website and straight back out again. And that's what Google hates. So I'm trying to get this bounce rate because this is the Mount Barker Business Group analytics at the moment, as it stood as of yesterday, since January. I'm trying to get this bounce rate down at the moment, so that's what I'm working on. Google Search Console I mentioned, so you can see the search terms people are using down here. So people actually find your website by Class A Energy Solutions. You know, it's an obvious thing to be typing, but people don't necessarily know your name. They might just be looking for solar. So solar panels doesn't actually have any clicks. Nobody's searching for solar panels on your site at the moment, but it means it has been used in the past. And then I don't think you can see this, but somebody can't spell panels. Double N. All right, Mount Barker Business Group Google position. As of a couple of days ago, I started putting this presentation together because of the recent work I've been doing. Mount Barker Business Group is coming up third in the list for the search term MBBG. And also, as of this morning, we're number one. So recent work this week has bumped us up to number one.
Video ones though,
Well, these are the ones we're trying to get rid of.
We're going live, we're live, we're live.
And that's it. So I hope that was useful. I hope you understand a little bit about SEO now.
Yep. Awesome. So still got a couple of minutes. If you've got any questions for Tony, now he's set his up.
That was great. With the bounce rate issue with SEO, how's that going to affect, the clickbait sort of phenomenon that's out there at the moment with the news, with these compelling headlines people are clicking through, and then obviously the content perhaps isn't as good as what they were hoping. Is that going to fix that, do you think?
What that's going to do is that's going to stop people trying to do that. So it's spamming sites that drive traffic to a specific site. Google will recognise that because the site it's coming from is not a trusted site. It doesn't have good content on it. It doesn't, it's a nonsense site really. So it's going to start getting those people out of the way, and it's going to help you in terms of your ranking because you're not using it.